what's going on around us, but also reflection of what the center is engaging with on an everyday level. So if we speak about people feeling anxious, of people feeling lost, it's not because we're just sitting here and making it up. That's what we have, the interaction. And that interaction allows us to create certain understandings, or to come up with certain understandings of where, how things are manifesting in everyday reality, in terms of people's mental health, their emotional health, their physical health, and now their relationships as well. And as time has gone on, we have also tried to ensure that protection and prevention is better than cure. Yeah? And there are ways of protecting yourself, because nothing is as superior as the human immune system. It just isn't. Doesn't matter how clever AI gets, nothing is as superior as that. And so if we work on the human immune system, that's the first point of call, just our general message. But the second is also how the information and the change in the frequencies. Now, what do I mean by that? That the environment around us has become a little bit more intensified, concerns to endure, sometimes like operating through treacle, areas in which our perception of reality seems to be in this fluid space. And that's for the people who are aware of the fact that something doesn't appear to be the way it used to be. Something's going on. Awake enough. And there are always a huge mind will do anything that's been promised in order to go back in that transitional moment. So as a result, most of these conversations that we have, we try and provide first a context, and secondly, our understanding based on our research, our information, of where we think things are going. No one has to accept them, but they are there for you to consider them and base them on a previous understanding of how things, when we were just giving our rights away from 2 weeks to a month to 3 months to loss of business to unable to go to your own supermarket, unable to meet people you care for, unable to attend a funeral if someone you cared for, loved, died. Because they're given away. Now you can't get them back. And we said that look, to give freedom away is easy, but to get it back can become very difficult. And that's where we find ourselves. So we're saying the same, with that same understanding, that anything that's being propaganda campaign, or there's a propaganda campaign behind, you have to question the motives, and you have to question what's being said. What is it that you're being compelled to do? You know, where is your mind being, or what's behind the game? We cannot quite necessarily make sense of what's happening. But imagine in any colonization process, right? So any community, any group that has been colonized will realize that the colonization takes place not when you suppress people with arms, it's when you change the mind. That's how you do it. You change the mind. So from thinking in one way, you begin to think in another. 380 schools in a country that's huge. And the question was, how could these 380 vernacular schools take the continent? It was easy. You educate the educators to re-educate the children. That's it. Oh, so the children are being educated with their masks, with their social distancing. So these children will not necessarily know another way. And this has serious implications for humanity. They will know another way. It's or famine, no different. So as much as this is, well, I'll allow it to happen and see what goes on. The implications of where things are going, certainly within the Western Hemisphere, and I include America, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, UK, parts of Europe, it's going into a biblical meltdown, a literal and a psychological deconstruction that we will never see in another maybe 100, 200 years, or maybe 1,000 years. Humanity is being shifted, attached to that which has already moved on. And that holds us back. That does not allow us to flourish. So from one side, it's becoming aware of what's going on, but not getting consumed by it, not becoming panicked by it. And this is a really important part. Irrespective of what goes on around you, there will come an understanding through your meditation and through your understanding and your experience that you've always been looked after. You've always been looked after. There was never a time you weren't. Just looked at it the wrong way. Just grabbed onto the wrong things. Yeah? But you were all looked after. That trust goes from belief to trust. I know. So this, as hard as it may seem, is a process that will squeeze us into a spiritual emergence in which we will recognize these simple principles of life, which we have just so willful that we're always looked after. That the death we perceive and the death that we run away from and the fear that's created as a result of that is really nothing more than just psychodrama. It's a bit of a drama. But we get so consumed with that drama because those who know how to create the dramas, and we don't necessarily know how to respond to them. So we react to them. So discernment. Whatever you hear, whatever you see, you can't breathe without X, Y, and Z. You can't get out of your bed because of this. Whatever you hear, take it with a pinch of salt. Because it's only a propaganda war now. That's all that's left. So it'll take, as much fear as possible, but disengage, and recognize that the intensity of fear in the language has been increasing, is likely to increase even more. So if you know that that's the game, then you're not as moved through it. You're not as drawn into it. So okay, the intensity will appear. Your meditation, absolutely critical. No, it's no longer a question of, well, I'll do it once a week. Absolutely critical, even if you can take 10 minutes out. Absolutely critical. Adding some sound to it, which we did earlier part of last year with the sound Soham, sound Har. You can use any other sound. There are many others. In your meditation, synchronizing with your breath is of real value now. It's the essential medicine that humanity needs to just to move through this phase of a few months or so. So meditation is essential. Your supplements are essential. Qigong, Tai Chi, yoga, absolutely critical. Make use of the good sun. Why? Because as the sun goes down, as we approach September, October, November, and this is why we are making a concern outwardly, that look, the September wave is likely because the sun goes down, vitamin D goes down, our activities change, children go back to school, there is communal, and children, when they're back at school, doesn't matter. You don't need any of that C word. Everything else also exists and always did. And it's there for, so good to increase your immunity now and to ensure that the likelihood is there may be like something that surges around September, Octoberish time, but humanity, immune system, etc., if it's in good space, is a best defense. Also, there are do your research, speak to people to find out what is going on because it's important now. It's important for your health and it's important for the health of others. But it's the response to the bug that may do damage. And therefore, again, as vitamin D comes down, replication, etc., there's more force in the body to try and maintain its balance. And therefore, you can anticipate that this may be an issue of concern. But do your research. As we always say, don't take our word for it, but do your research. And finally, wherever in groups with like-minded people who can share proper information where you can discuss and debate and have some kind of a discursive conversation, anything like that really should be encouraged. Yeah, because everything that you think may not be necessarily the truth. So it's nice for someone else to be a part of it. Yeah.
You might mention about the increase of loss of hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really important to share this with them.
Yeah.
Because we've obviously been having quite a
Yeah.
few before.
So we've had few people who have come back to us and said that they are experiencing, or their families are experiencing, like quite sudden loss of hair. And with Sikhs, we are obsessed with hair, so we take special pride in it. And and because these conversations are coming from various different places, so we just want to ensure that people are alert, become aware that if this is something that you're experiencing, identify the environment, identify the status of individuals, and there are some products that help. With all type products, if you can get hold of, which you can get hold of from the center. But we're not trying to flog them, right?
No, but we are also looking at this as to what we can do to bring certain herbs and remedies together, especially from an Ayurvedic point of view, to see how we can help support people with this.
Yeah. So it's just as getting more feedback. We just, it's a reflection and saying, just keep an eye out. And if there is something like that, then we can see what measures to take to practice.
And the point of this is don't start panicking because you know of somebody that started losing their hair or because it's happening to you. Don't start thinking you're ill. There are other reasons as to why this is happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so amongst everything, better than your own source, your own space to tell you where it's at. Don't trust anyone, but your own is. If it feels right, it's right. If it doesn't feel right, it ain't right. That's all there is to it. So let's move in and check out what's going on in our inner space. So as ever, so one thing I want to add towards our meditation today. So as you close your eyes and become aware, and just as you're sitting with yourself, noticing your posture, noticing how the body feels. See if there's anything that feels tense, tight. Aware of your physical body first. Scan it. Imagine a hula hoop above your head. And as it moves down, just scan the physical body. So you're looking for sensations. as you move down. Now, if you bring your focus to wherever you're sitting, you will notice that there are sensations within your body. Body makes contact with your seat. That the ground beneath you holds you. In other words, there's nowhere else you can be. So just allow that. Now bringing your focus to the environment you're in. If you feel warm, that's because the air around you is warm. If you feel cold, that's the environment around you, or hot. So just note you can only be comfortable, warm, recognizing the space around you. From the air there, or beneath the nose. Once again, moving to your breath, you notice that your breath breathes by itself. One breath followed by another. And every breath that you take is a one. And every breath that you take is a. Notice that your in-breath has a length. Notice that your in-breath has a length. Notice the kind of thoughts you're having or have been having. Bringing your focus towards your chest. Holding. Do you feel settled? Do you feel anxious? Do you feel calm? Are you in dukh, suffering? Or is there an absence of suffering? Not what you're thinking, how you feel. We open our awareness to the sounds around us. Simply listening. And bring your focus just beneath your nose. Begin to notice your commitment to hold your focus. Begin to notice. Watch the in-breath come in, watch the out-breath go out. And every time your focus drifts away, you begin to think. Notice what distracts you. Bring your focus back to your breath. Hold your focus just beneath your nose. Bringing your focus now to the two ends of your breath. When your out breath finishes, see if you can hold your focus on those 2 points. Stay with your breath, watching the in-breath moving in, watching the out-breath moving out. Gap when in-breath ends. Stay with your breath. To your out breath, follow. As you follow, following your out breath all the way out and deeper into this moment. Stay with your breath. Notice how you're breathing now. Does the breath feel smooth or does it feel rough? Does it flow fast or does it flow slow? Does the breath feel light? Does it feel heavy and labored? The quality of our breath begins to demonstrate the quality of our mind. Does your breath feel warm or does it feel cold? And bring your focus now to the sound of your breath. Listening to the in-breath as it comes in, listening to the out-breath as it goes out. Stay with your breath. And the more intently you listen, just the intention to listen. Stay with your breath. Your next breath out, opening your awareness to all the sounds around you. Listening. Listening with your whole being. Looking for the sounds, allowing them to come to you. Listening with every cell within your body. Allowing the sounds to come to you. Listening as intently as you can. from this presence. Create the intention, an intention that is selfless, an intention that is motivated to keep those that are vulnerable safe. When you feel that you have the intention, see if you can visualize, bring to your thought an image that represents that intention. And this may be a bubble, this may be a dome, this may be your arms, that which express knowing that we are in these untested times, knowing just like us, knowing just like us, others feel vulnerable and fearful, not knowing what's going on. And so from within us, we express our actions, and we express them in the following words. So gently repeating these words as you hold. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be peaceful, may you be safe. To the intention, adding it to the intention. May you be happy, healthy, may you be peaceful. Any words that adds to this sentiment, we can use them now. Intention for the welfare of humanity, for all that life brings. May everyone be happy, may everyone be healthy, may everyone be peaceful, may everyone be safe. And just sitting with your breath. Taking a moment to recognize your experience. Bodies. Notice how still your body is. And as you expand your awareness to become aware of your body, notice its stillness, its silence. Notice the posture. Where you began. You have sensations in your body. And you can sense your thighs down to your, and with the soles of your feet. Notice that the back is straight and upright. Your eyes are still. And now as the breath comes in, you sense your whole body. Breathing in, you can sense your body. Breathing out, you can sense your body. Taking a moment to recognize the preciousness of a moment in life, of being centered and being in tune with ourselves. When you hear the bell, use this bell to draw a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, opening your